Prosser advancing on the ball. Ricky Wills had trouble handling it. And so UNLV will start from its 20-yard line.
This is where we'll see if the Rebels try to establish this running game with Tommy Jackson.
There's the quarterback, Charles Bryce. He's a freshman. He redshirted 1 year out of Jack Yates High School in Texas. 50%, 926 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Engineered that dramatic victory over Ohio University earlier in the year when he replaced Scott Sims at the quarterback spot. The Rebels start from their 20-yard line. Darren Brightman in that backfield with Tommy Jackson. And this is Brightman. 2 or 3 yards, and he runs into the defensive end, Willie Howard. Number 93, also 45, Tracy Rogers. You know, Rogers has an opportunity to be the defensive player of the year in the Big West Conference. There is the offensive set. Jackson, Brightman, Ricky Wills, Keenan McCardle, and Welch the tight end. Harden, Oprah, Paco, Ruggles, and Quinton, an experienced offensive line. Out of the I formation. 2nd down and 8. Second back throw. The ball is loose. I believe Fresno State has recovered, and they have. So something that UNLV could ill afford to do. John Murphy carried it and coughed it up.
Well, Tommy Jackson, we heard right after we did our pregame just now, we were alerted that Tommy was hurt and might not even play tonight. The fumble there for Fresno State with great field position with the wind.
So is Murphy. That fumbled, and Nick Ruggiero has recovered. There is another redshirt freshman, Mark Barsotti, out of Madera High School. Had fabulous numbers there, redshirted last year, and has beaten out Dave Telford for the quarterback spot. From the I formation, Skipper in motion. Now he sets on the left side. On the delay, it's Myron Jones. And he cracks down inside the 35 near the 32-yard line. And you can see that Rebel defense fired up too.
Well, they are fired up, but that's still a good gain on first down and helps Mark Barsotti and quarterback.
Skipper, who's rushed for more than 2,000 yards. Jones, Pickens, and Alexander. Craig Jones, the tight end. Lujan, Vial, Radaman, who Sweeney calls the best center he's ever had, and Skidmore and Truscheline up next to him. The deep pitch. Skipper. Ran into Derek Nicholson and Doc Wine. Flag is down as Skipper was only able to rush forward 1 yard.
Good pursuit there by the Rebel defense, and that's what their philosophy is. They try to get as many hats in the ball as they can.
Nicholson, Wise, and Aaron Christian, the 3-man front. Linebackers Foster, Reinhold, Estes, and Avery Miller. And the deep secondary, Freddie Phillips, Al Emmons, Tyrone Carter, and Charles Anthony. Dead ball, personal foul against UNLV, and a first down for Fresno State.
Well, and that's one thing Wayne Nunley's tried to cut down and has done a good job with this unit, especially the defensive unit, is the number of personal fouls. But here in that first opening drive for Fresno State, you don't like to see a penalty like that.
First down from the 16-yard line. Back split behind Barsotti. And it's Skipper, and he has a little bit of a break, but he ran into John Foster. There was a hole, but it closed in a hurry.
Well, Foster did a great job. He was kicked out, but did a great job of getting back in. Skipper's so quick. He's only 5'6" and so quick, but there Foster did a good job of shutting that hole down.
Skipper rushed for a career high against UNLV 2 years ago right here at the Silver Bowl. Rushed for 109 yards at a Fresno State 36-7 win. Bulldogs have won the last 3 meetings between these two clubs and pretty handily. Last year, 45-10 in Fresno. Barsotti will keep it. Great cut. And he's down to the 2-yard line. The mobility of the freshman quarterback, Barsotti.
Well, and Jim Sweeney, the head coach for Fresno State, he has gone to the ground game this year. And there, Barsotti, when you've established the running game, Barsotti just pulls this down, but watch the move that a quarterback puts on a defensive back, Anthony. Does a great job. That's why Barsuti's in there, because of his running ability.
Not a bad passer either, 49%. Skipper over the top. Now, Kelly Skipper has scored touchdowns in his last 6 games, and he's just a little bit shy of making it 7 in a row.
I've seen Kelly Skipper play in a number of games. He's got great speed, and he's not that big. He hides behind his offensive lineman. We'll see again there. You can't tell from that angle if he broke the plane.
3 minutes eclipsed here in the first quarter after a key John Murphy fumble recovered by Fresno State. They're trying to take it in. Skipper again. And the UNLV defensive front doing a very good job.
Well, and they did a good job against Utah State last week. One of their strengths, they do bend, but once they get inside the 20 with that critical scoring situation, the defense always seems to rise up and make a big play.
It's 3rd and goal. Certainly they're keying in on little Kelly Skipper as you see him come back to the huddle.
Watch for the bootleg here. Fresno State's been known to do it. When you've got a running game like they have, it really does give that quarterback that option.
Skipper is out, and he's been replaced by Darrell Rosette, who was the star last week, 148 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns. And they go to that wishbone. That was against UOP. Byron Jones flies in for the touchdown. Going over the top. His 8th rushing touchdown this year.
Jones started his leap on about the 2-yard line. Usually the linebackers will try to read which way the play goes and try to meet the running back at the point there where he dives at the highest. No Rebel linebacker there to meet him.
The placement specialist is Steve Loop. He had hit 33 in a row, missed last week against UOP, and now trying to start and build a new streak. And he drills this one. 11 minutes, 8 seconds left, first quarter. UNLV turns it over, and Fresno State takes it right in. And the Bulldogs lead early in this count, 7-0. Off leading 7-0 with 11 minutes and 8 seconds left in the first quarter. Wills and Bernard Jackson back to receive. This is Wills, 2 yards deep. He's coming out. And hit and dropped by Anthony Williams. And Joe Gigantino, number 99. All right, Dave, a quick error cost UNLV 7 points. Now their thoughts as they go into that huddle.
Well, you have to worry that Wayne Nunley, you don't want to get too conservative with the young redshirt freshman quarterback. Try to establish the run, take some pressure off of him. But that puts a lot of pressure on Wayne Nunley because this defense is so strong.
Right littles the up back behind him is Murphy. And they go right back to Murphy on the draw. And he cracks it out to the 25-yard line. This is a very quick defensive unit. 69, Brian Greer made the hit inside, and that's just one of 4 very good linebackers.
Well, the linebacking core is the strength of this defense, and the thing that really makes it hard to do, they're so fast, it's hard to run sweeps and off tackle. You almost have to run directly at them.
Rogers is their current All-American, and they have another one in 54, Ron Cox, who leads them in sacks. They feel he'll be an All-American in years to come. He's only a sophomore. Murphy, a good gain over the left side out near the 30-yard line.
Well, that time they had Cox and Rogers both lined up shoulder to shoulder outside the left end, so I'm sure that was an audible by Charles Price.
It'll be 3rd down and a yard to go. Key John Murphy, a freshman. Wouldn't you know it, he's from Edison High School in Fresno. And he's the cousin of Ickey Woods, who was the running back of great acclaim a year ago for UNLV. 3rd and 1. Rebels trying to pick up a first down with 9 minutes and 50 seconds left in the opening quarter. And they go to the tailback again, and he's close to the first down yardage in the arms of Nick Ruggiero. And Ruggiero is from Bishop Gorman High School in Las Vegas. So wouldn't you know it, you have a young man carrying the ball for UNLV from Fresno, and you have a gentleman tackling him from Las Vegas who's playing for the Fresno State Bulldogs. A little ironic.
No one recruited Nick Ruggiero. He walked on there and has really developed into a consistent to a very good defensive lineman.
The charge upfield by Murphy, good enough for the first down to the 32-yard line. Darren Brightman, a little bit of a crossbuck, but it did not fool Chuck McCutcheon, the nose guard. Big number 90 stood his ground. He's a real leader.
I like
ideas in defense.
Randy, I like Darren Brightman. He's only about 5'8", about 215 pounds, but he's so strong. He's usually best out of that I formation when they have the threat of the pitch and they run that little trap play over the nose tackle that makes Brightman so effective.
Wills deployed to the left side. Keenan McCardle split to the right. Price's first throw of the game. McCardle has it. Down he goes at the 39-yard line. Hit there by Darryl Martin, the right side cornerback.
This is a good high percentage pass. Get the young quarterback a couple completions, let him gain his confidence. He'll just take a 3 to 4 step drop. He knows he's looking to see if McCardle's open. Good throw, good technique there. For a young quarterback, especially against a tough defensive unit like this, that's a good high percentage play to start him out throwing with.
It gains 6 yards, but they're still looking at 3rd and 3. And Price sprints out to the left side. Flag is down, and so is Price. Now, against a lot of Big West schools, that may have opened up for a first down, but against that quick attacking defense, they got over there in numbers.
Well, that's what makes this defense so tough. They have great speed, not only the linebackers, but their down linemen. I think we're going to see holding there.
They'll refuse it and force a 4th down situation.
Charles Price is such a great athlete that I'm sure what Wayne Nunley is trying to do there, as we see the holding call, is get this young quarterback outside. He's got great athletic ability. He's got a strong arm and can throw on the run. You give him those 2 options, run or pass, and that's where Charles Price is so tough.
Our referee today is Mike Pereira. Rhymes to boot it away. A low spiral. These are the kind you can return, although Andre Alexander will watch it bounce, takes a Fresno State roll, and is down out near the 23-yard line by Kyle Toomer, a reserve running back. 8 minutes left, first quarter. Fresno State has the ball at a 7-0 lead. 8 minutes left in the opening quarter at the Sam Boyd Silver Bowl in Las Vegas. After a 39-yard punt, Fresno State has it for the second possession of this opening quarter. They have 7 in the bank, and they lead UNLV 7-0. Byron Jones scored the touchdown for Fresno State. He's in the backfield. Lined up behind Barsodi with him is the wide receiver Dwight Pickens. Now they're going to change the formation, bring Skipper back where he belongs in the eye. And it's the deep pitch, and here's a reverse. And Andre Alexander tries to cut back the other way, but UNLV was waiting for him. That one didn't fool anybody. David Clark made the hit.
David Clark does a good job here on the tackle. Barsodi, the quarterback, will be out in front. This will lose 4 yards for the Bulldogs. Barsodi there on Nicholson is not a good matchup. Alexander all by himself.
Back at the Fresno State 19-yard line. That's the kind of play, though, that Jim Sweeney likes to bring out of the bag.
He does. He likes to do that in regular situations, also with the special teams.
2nd and 14. Barsodi with good protection over the middle has Craig Jones, his outstanding tight end, tackled by Joni Reinhold. Jones caught 6 a week ago. They feel he's all Big West material at the tight end position.
And Reinhold has good coverage here. Barsodi just makes a perfect throw. He watches his tight end all the way, but a good throw timing pattern, but good coverage.
Greg's brother, Brent Jones, played for the 49ers in the NFL. They think Craig Jones may join him at that level. It's a 3rd down and still 5 to go. They hand it off. And it's Rosette to the 32-yard line. He's a yard shy. Wrapped up by Doc Wise. So the Fresno State offense denied on this occasion by the UNLV defense. And it was that reverse that went awry that really did in the Bulldog.
Well, 2nd and 14 really puts you in a tough situation on what you're going to call. The good throw by Barsodi, but came up short of the first down. This Rebel defense is aggressive, and they get after people.
Lance Oberparleiter, originally attended Oklahoma, will punt it away to Keenan McCardle. That's a terrific kick. Driving McCardle back inside his 15-yard line. Makes a good cut to the 23.
McCardle returns the ball to the Rebel 23-yard line. First and 10 UNLV.
5 minutes and 50 seconds left in the first quarter. John Murphy coughed it up. And the fumble recovered by Rugeroli. And Fresno State able to get in for this early 7-0 lead. A 53-yard punt there by Lance Oberparleiter. Don't do it much better than that. Charles Price. Play action. Nearly intercepted by Tony Harris. And Ron Cox was applying the pressure to Price.
Good play fake there by Price, and Price bought a lot of time with that. The Fresno State defense is so aggressive, they really did bite on the play action there. Price throwing into the wind was a little tall for everyone.
How much of a disadvantage will that be for Price now? He knows it's tough to run without his Tommy Jackson back there to help out. He's throwing into a fairly stiff breeze, about 8 or 10 miles an hour, so what are his alternatives? What can he do to move it against Fresno State?
Well, they're in their third series, and what you don't want as an offensive unit, think that you can't run against a defense, especially this early in the game. So I don't think we'll see the Rebels change their outlook here as we see a reverse by them.
And Ron Cox turns it inside, and he has help. One thing you want to do as a defender is turn it back inside. And Ron Cox was able to do that, and then everybody helped out, including Chuck McCutcheon.
The philosophy there is if you're going against a defense that runs to the ball so much, go ahead and run back there. But Cox, watch Ron Cox stay home. Remember, these linebackers are so aggressive. There's good play fake there. You see the reverse, but you see how Ron Cox did not pursue. Stayed with his assignment.
3rd and 5 for Charles Price and the Rebels. Down 7-0 with 5 minutes left in the opening quarter. Murphy gets a great block and has a first down to the 42-yard line. And the freshman finally knocked out by Tony Harris.
This is just a delay pattern underneath. You see Price looking downfield. He'll come back to Mitchell underneath. But watch the block. The Keenan McCardle gets on number 4, Tony Harris. Out of the right side of your screen. Harris never sees McCardle. Big first down, good field position for the Rebels.
At their 42. Murphy for a couple. I guess that's to keep the defense honest. Garnett Fountain, 94. Was the first one to grade him along with Brian Greer.
Randy, remember, this defensive unit is ranked 6th in the country in overall defense, so it's really hard to keep them honest no matter what you do. These guys as a unit, their linebackers are so good, their defensive linemen, they just stay in their lanes. Jim Sweeney is such a disciplined guy, and you can see it in the way his players play.
3 shutouts this year, all at the Doghouse in Fresno. Quick out pattern to Wills, and that's another first down. Taken down by James Williams, the left side quarterback. But a good tight spiral thrown hard by Charles Price.
Well, and good play calling here, too. We'll see Charles Price, again, this is a high percentage pass. It doesn't give the defense chance to get to your quarterback, and as long as that secondary and those corners stay off, just keep throwing that as long as they'll give it to you.
And UNLV has reached the Bulldog 42-yard line. Bernard Jackson and Ricky Wills wide to the right side. Everyone else in tight. And Price. Over the middle, Murphy was breaking free. Now, what did that do that really threw off Fresno State? Because Murphy nearly had a touchdown.
Well, we'll see if the blitz here. Murphy just releases. The linebacker doesn't pick him up. The ball is right on his shoulder, hits the shoulder pad, but a pretty good throw there by Price.
Nearly a touchdown. 45. Tracy Rogers was indeed on the blitz. 2nd down and 10. So the Rebels have a nice drive going with 3 minutes and 50 seconds left in the opening quarter. Fresno State leading 7-0. Darren Brightman gets 5 yards to the Bulldog 37 in the grasp of Ron Cox and Tony Harris.
This is a good drive for the Rebels. They've mixed the run and the pass, and I think that's what they've got to do. They're in a position that you just don't want to worry about making mistakes and just keep the ball on the ground. Let this young quarterback, Charles Price, who had 23 completions for 257 yards last week against Utah State, open it up and let the guys have some fun.
Really did have a terrific outing against the Aggies. 23 completions. That's the most since the Cunningham era. On 3rd and 5. Price, another quick out for Keenan McCardle. That's a first down to the Fresno State 26-yard line.
This is a confidence-building drive. We'll watch once again the 3-step drop by young Charles Price. See him step into his throw. The ball was tipped. McCardle does a good job of concentrating. They've completed that pass 3 times in this first quarter.
Brian Greer still in at linebacker, number 69, taken up, hobbling, wanted to come out, but the coaching staff didn't see him. They keep it on the ground, and it's Murphy. Down he goes. Maybe one. When Chinotti ran into Brian Greer. Well, the leg couldn't have been too bad.
But you've got to like the play calling here by Rodney Bell and the Rebels. They're opening it up. They're letting their young quarterback. They've shown him different looks. They've rolled Price outside, trying to get him the option of the run. He's done a good job of standing in pocket. I think he gained a lot of confidence with his play in Utah State last week.
Greer now has been replaced by 99 Joe Gigantino at linebacker. Cardle in motion. Flags are down. This has to be one of the prettier drives this year for UNLV, mixing up the pass and the run, Dave.
Well, they went to the run when Tommy Jackson was healthy. And they did that last year towards the end of the year with Ickey Woods, where they kept the ball on the ground. You know, it really
offense.
When you run the ball, you're not going to make the mistakes that you're going to do when you're throwing the ball. And you've got a young quarterback, but I think Charles Price, over the course of this season, you can see it in this drive right here and here in the first quarter, the confidence that he's gained.
Second down now and 13 for UNLV. McCardle split to the left side. Ricky Wills deployed to the right. Blitz. Bowens is coming from a safety spot. And a delivery sack as Price was able to unload. But Craig Bowens was flying in.
Bowens lined up there in the blitz position. A young quarterback, a lot of times he's looking over the defense and doesn't see the defensive back sneak up. There he should have audibleized to a little quicker pattern. It's awful hard to stand back in the pocket. You've got no one to pick up that extra rusher.
7-0 Fresno State. 1 minute, 41 seconds left opening quarter. UNLV looking at 3rd and 13. They have an excellent placement specialist in Jim Cook if they do not convert here. They'll keep it on the ground to Darren Brightman, and he reaches but to the 25-yard line. And they're going to have to look to Jim Cook. Wayne Nunley in his 3rd year, 14 and 16, engineered a big win over Wisconsin in his first campaign. But his team has only won 3 games this year and would like to upset Fresno State and deny him the conference title today.
3 times against Utah State last week. Jim Cook was wide to the right.
From the 32-yard line, it's a 42-yard attempt out of the hold of Keenan McCardle. It's blocked. James Williams blocked it.
Well, Jim Cook is in a slump. He made 1 of 4 kicks last week. This ball was bobbled by Keenan McCardle, so I don't think you can really blame Jim Cook on this. The bobble caused a little mix-up in the exchange there. It's the battery center holder kicker break down there.
James Williams is a sprinter, and he blocked the kick, and the Bulldogs remain ahead, 7-0. And they're looking for Williams, who's wide open. Tyrone Carter had to belt him out of bounds, but it's a big gain for the Bulldogs in Rebel territory.
Well, and Mark Barsotti here to Anthony Williams. Barsotti does a good job of holding onto the ball and wait on the zone for the zone to clear. Williams is right there for a 21-yard gain.
Mark Barsotti, the freshman out of Madera High School, throwing the ball well. Final 10 seconds of the opening quarter for Dwight Pickens, and he threw this one too far. Pickens had one-on-one coverage from Freddie Phillips, and that was long overthrown.
Well, Barsotti there, he rushed the ball a little bit. He's throwing. There is a wind at Barsotti's back. When you do sometimes throw that fade or up pattern, the wind will catch it, and it'll tail a little at the end.
Second down and 10. Only 5 seconds left in the first quarter. Fresno State hasn't had the ball that much, but they lead 7-0. Myron Jones took it in from a yard out. Rosette with a flag down us to the 35-yard line, and it's in a spot where you may think about the holding infraction.
You don't even have to watch the official. You know when a flag flies in there behind the offensive line that it's going to be holding. Rosette, though, you can see him do a good job, and you see Jim Sweeney, the discipline, and how hard he makes these players work, covered the ball up when he got in traffic.
We're going to take a break. Fresno State leading this one as we go to the second quarter, 7-0. At the end of the first quarter was indeed a holding penalty against the Fresno State Bulldogs, so they're backed up to the UNLV 49, and they're faced with a 1st and 20 now. And Barsotti, good protection. And he's looking long for Craig Jones, his tight end. Touchdown, Jones. His second career touchdown. Earlier this year, he got one against New Mexico State. But this is a 49-yarder. And I thought he pushed off.
Well, and Mark Barsotti does a great job here. He gets some pressure. You can see him get back in the pocket. He's got plenty of time. Feels Doc Wise up the middle, moves to his left, makes a good throw. Charles Anthony, number 4, loses the ball and turns around. We'll see if there's a push-off. You saw the hand go out, but I don't think you call that a push-off.
It was a soft push on Charles Anthony, and a tremendous catch by Jones. Loop adds the extra point, and it's 14-0 Fresno State. There's a timeout on the field. The Bulldogs strike quickly and lead on a beautiful day in UNLV by 14-0. They kick it off, leading 14-0. So Barsotti hits Craig Jones, his capable tight end, for 49 on the score. So the holding penalty does not deny Fresno State. Short kick. It's fielded at the 20-yard line by Kyle Toomer. And he's knocked out of bounds at the 31-yard line.
Jones did a great job on that play of adjusting to the ball. You can see Jim Sweeney, how excited he is. He likes to beat UNLV. Well, this guy likes to beat anybody. He coached me when I was with the Raiders in 1977. He was our special teams coach. I don't think I've ever met anyone more intense than Jim Sweeney.
He's intense, and his team is honing in on a Big West Conference championship. It's early, but they're up 14-0. Price, that out pattern is thrown high, but a nice catch by Keenan McCardle. Then he was dropped by Daryl Martin, number 41. McCardle is a very promising wide receiver.
He is, and McCardle, he did a good job of adjusting to that ball. They've thrown that pass 5 times, and when you're a young quarterback, you're having success with that. You've got to be careful of that corner just sitting there reading your eyes and taking that back the other way.
Price very accurate, 5 of 8. But he's down 14-0, facing a defense that has 3 shutouts this year. Second down and 4. Price is going up top again. This time down he goes. That Bulldog rush could get to you. They came and they swarmed and they got to Price.
We'll watch Tracy Rogers, number 45, gets good pressure early on Charles Price here. Price, he'll feel this pressure. You see Rogers right there. The awareness of the young quarterback. He doesn't see him, but he feels him. and he felt that there was other pressure around him. But that's the pressure these linebackers can bring when they start blitzing. And they
nice to have a linebacker 250 pounds that can move like that, too. Now it's 3rd and 9, and Price is in a hole. You know that Wayne Nunley didn't want to fall behind like this early. Far sideline, threw it too hard. Wills was open, too. He had turned Williams around.
Wills was wide open, but again, you see the young quarterback. He had pressure on him the previous play, and that's what the blitz will do to the young quarterback. That time, he had plenty of time to throw the ball, but rushed the passer was high.
13 minutes and 36 seconds left before halftime. Tony Rines, formerly of Arizona State, boots away a tremendously high kick. Andre Alexander has it at 14. 30. And he's run out of bounds near the 38-yard line by Gerald Robinson, a reserve defensive back. There's a flag down. 10 right now. Why not? He's leading 14-0. We'll be back after this. That holding penalty wipes out a nice return by Andre Alexander. The Bulldogs will have to start from their 8-yard line. They don't have field position, but they have a comfort zone leading 14-0. With David Hum, I'm Randy Rosenblum. Hope you're enjoying it. Live from the Sam Boyd Silver Bowl in Las Vegas, Nevada. And Myron Jones reaches perhaps the 9-yard line. Myron Jones is a legitimate 4.340 speed. That's big-time speed.
And he's got such great strength, too. We saw on the touchdown that he scored, the height that he could get jumping over the end zone. This backfield with Skipper and Jones and Rosette are so strong. I'm sure Jim Sweeney feels pretty confident with this group.
Daytime turning into the nights here. Losing sunshine rapidly. What a lovely day in Las Vegas. And keep it on the ground. And once again, it's Myron Jones. It has a little bit of a crease, not near the 18-yard line. See covered up there by Doc Wine.
Jones again, the ball carrier.
Watch the strength of Myron Jones when he breaks the initial tackle from ground level. Good shot at Jones here. You see his eyes and his head looking upfield. The good hit by Anthony to get this back down one-on-one.
He can add one more touchdown to his total. He picked up his 8th score when he went over the top in that first quarter. Timeout for the moment. They're going to measure. Myron Jones, only a junior out of Chatsworth, California. San Fernando Valley.
What a great look at this first down. We'll see. It would still be 3rd down and very short if they don't get the first down here. Up close and personal here on the measurement.
It's got to be a first down.
They're saying it has to. The chains here you could see are padded for when players go out of bounds and hit them. And the official was saying, "Well, I think the padding. I'm not sure if the ball is getting to the upright there."
This Fresno State team has really changed their philosophy. Last year, their backup quarterback this year, Dave Telford, was the starter. He had 70 passes in one game at Utah State. Threw for 536 yards against UOP. Not anymore. They go by land now. They rush the ball. Keep it on the ground again.
I was surprised to see this year that the Bulldogs went to the ground with Kevin Sweeney, who's going to start for Dallas, get his first start in the NFL. Jim Sweeney's son, when he was there, was the NCAA's all-time leading passer for just a year before that record was broken. But the Bulldogs have always been known for their passing, and here this year we see him on the ground.
And we'll see him again next week as they host Long Beach State in Fresno. They'll probably have 35,000 on hand. And the Bulldogs have outscored their opponents at home 175-10. So if you're going to beat them, you better get them on the road, and that's what UNLV would like to do today. The deep pitch to Rosette. And Rosette very close to another first down, and that lunge may have gotten it for him.
But again, you can see that change in philosophy. They grind the ball out. Their offensive line is a veteran line. They've played well together all year. A couple times, Nick. We'll watch it again as Rosette gets outside. Rosette has great speed. Almost a 10-yard average on his 15 carries last week. But watch Jody Reinhold. He runs away from the linebacker, put his head down. Good job of the running back getting the first down.
for Dave Hom. I'm Randy Rosenblum. 11 minutes, 25 seconds left first half. 14-0 Fresno State. Barsotti into the flat. What a crushing hit by Tyrone Carter. Oh, my goodness. He levels Darrell Rosette.
Mark Barsotti, and this really won't endear you to your wide receivers when you throw balls like this, but watch Rosette. He comes out of the backfield. Barsotti moving his feet, never sees Tyrone Carter, but watch Carter time that hit. Almost a catch by Rosette, but a great hit by Tyrone Carter. That'll clear the cobwebs.
That looked like an NFL shot. Look at this. That's the way to get into that stance and go after the ball carrier, in this case, a receiver. Second down and 10. And Barsotti on the delay to Myron Jones. And another flag is down, a late flag. He advanced the ball 3 yards before he was dropped by Kevin Folk, but now let's check the marker. It's a hold against Fresno State. It's the third time they've been ticketed for holding.
The evils of the pass are the incompletions and the interceptions. The evils when you're running a running team are the fumbles and the holding penalties, and we've seen a couple of them on the Bulldogs tonight here early.
Clock is running now. 11 minutes left in the first half. Fresno State leading UNLV 14-0. Barsotti had a big hit already here. He completed the home run bomb to his tight end, Craig Jones, for a 49-yard score. Second and 17. Stephen Shelley has the catch at the 35-yard line. Make that Alan Gardenhire. I believe that was number 5, Gardenhire.
Mark Barsotti throws this the complete width of the field. What a great throw. You see him, he's looking to his right. This is as long a throw as he'd have to make, and makes a super throw. Watch the bobble. And Alan Gardenhire, who used to play here at UNLV, with the catch, but what a great throw by Barsotti. Showed good arm strength there.
Picks up 11 there. And Gardenhire, as Dave alluded to, did indeed see playing time at UNLV a couple years ago. But it's still 3rd and 6 after that holding infraction. Barsotti looking for Jones, but he goes underneath to Andre Alexander. And it's out of bounds, incomplete. It'll be 4th down.
Again, a heads-up play by Barsotti. He'll bootleg and roll to his right. He tries to buy time. He's almost out of bounds when he throws this ball. We'll see. That looked like a catch.
That was a bad call, obviously.
1 foot in college, and he looked like he had it there, possession and the foot down.
So a break for UNLV.
Definitely looked like he had the ball in possession and the 1 foot down.
That's conclusive evidence, right? If it was an NFL game. Over Parleiter, 3rd punt of the day. Hangs it up in that wind, and McCardle is dropped at the 33-yard line, and a flag is down. And it appeared that he was calling for a fair catch, and then he was cracked. And cracked hard by David Jacobson, who was coming down on the specialty team. Well, now they're going to point against UNLV for clipping.
It looked like McCardle was in between calling for the fair catch. The ball kind of hung up in the wind. Made the decision not to call the fair catch, and then the clip.
Well, that'll back the Rebels up.
That's a full scrimmage foul. After the kick, clipping on the receivers, penalized from the end of the kick. First down.
The Rebels lose good field position there with 10:05 left here in the first half. They need to get a drive, some big play. They need some player to come to the front and make a big play and get them going.
Fresno State looking for a conference championship in the Big West in the second quarter. Football 88 features a Pac-10 doubleheader at 7 o'clock. 6th-ranked UCLA hosts the Stanford Cardinals. Then at 11, the number 2-ranked USC Trojans travel to Tempe to battle the ASU Sun Devils. It's the excitement of college football coming up tonight on Prime Ticket. P. John Murphy. He picks up 3 there. He's replacing the injured Tommy Jackson, who prior to this game suddenly was removed. We're told an injury, and quite candidly, I don't know what the injury is. We were not told that. We just heard that he was injured and not going to play in the first half and may not play in the game. 2nd down and 7. Price again. That's a great catch by Ricky Wills and a first down to the 37-yard line.
A great catch by Ricky Wills, but watch the throw by Charles Price. Price puts this ball on the line. Here you see him looking to his right. He sees Wills. Good technique. Perfect throw. Wills that ball just a little high. Those receivers don't like that ball up around their head or above when they're going across that middle of the field.
Ball spotted at the 37-yard line. Charles Price. Play action. Gets away from McCutcheon. And runs into Robert Nobles, number 42, an active sophomore linebacker.
Charles Price does a good job of getting away from nose guard Chuck McCutcheon. He's got time here early, but good coverage by the secondary of Fresno State. McCutcheon gets an arm on Price, but there you can see Price is not afraid to run the ball, and he'll take it upfield.
We have 2 very mobile quarterbacks in Barsotti and Price. 2nd and 5. Rebels trailing 14-0 with 8.5 minutes left before intermission. Darren Brightman, 50. And that's a first down. Free safety Craig Bones finally had to knock him off his pins.
Brightman is a hard back to bring down. He's got the leverage. He's only about 5'8". Broke the tackle of Robert Nobles. It's hard to get underneath a back that's as short as Darren Brightman and get him down.
Wayne Nunley trying to engineer an upset. Team is 3-5 this year. And still has an outside shot at the conference title, provided, of course, they win here tonight. Wills at the 40, to the 30. Run out of bounds at the 23-yard line.
The Rebels have been throwing that 3-step drop, the quick out. This time Wills will fake the quick out, do the hitch, turn it inside. Does a great job of breaking the tackle by number 8, Jeff White. Watch how quick he moves to the outside. They set that play up by running the quick out 4 or 5 times. Wills does a good job. Gets the Rebels good field position. Could get him a score, get some momentum going for them going into the half.
Price on the rollout. That's out of bounds. And he gunned the ball as Wills was working against left quarterback James Williams.
There you can see the ability. Watch the ability of Charles Price. He's rolling to his left, which is the hardest throw for a right-handed quarterback. This ball's on the line just a little high. It would have taken Wills out of bounds anyway.
2nd down and 10. Jamie Nelson has checked in. He goes wide to the right side. Keenan McCardle deployed to the left side. Tight end Robert Welch with the slot on the left side. Brightman, and he runs into Tracy Rogers, and it's Case Lowe's. That's why he's a Butkus Award candidate.
Rogers has that,
2.
he has that great awareness. He's so tough when he blitzes, but he reads plays so well. He's got that experience. And Brightman, who's so tough to bring down, an easy play.
You would think in a situation like that, that's the perfect play to fool the defense, but not this guy.
Especially when they're so aggressive. But here, Rogers, he's got that great knack of a linebacker that knows what's going on in front of him. He doesn't get fooled.
3rd down and 12 for Price. At the Fresno State 25-yard line. And here they come. Garnett Fountain on a blitz was coming in through the middle, and Price was forced to unload.
Well, Price did a good job there of just getting rid of the ball.
We'll see
if they send the field goal unit out there. But again, the blitz, the young quarterback. When you've got a young quarterback and you've got a defense like this, you're usually going to try to get to him and rattle a little bit. But I think Price has shown good composure.
Jim Cook had one blocked earlier by James Williams. I'll try another one. 42-yard attempt. Keenan McCardle once again will place it down for him. 7 minutes left, first half, 14-0 Fresno State. Again, a low snap. He gets this one away. Hits the upright. It's been that kind of night for the UNLV football team. Close, but they fall short. So there's 6 minutes and 55 seconds left of the first half. Fresno State continues to pitch a shutout and leads 14-0. Welcome back to Las Vegas Nightside. I'm Ray DeRosamond with David Hum. You take a look at that picture, you can see, and that's where David's going to go later and visit some of his money.
Well, this is my home, so I know you don't really want to visit it too much.
You got a lot of your money, though, spread around the marketplace here, don't you?
Tell you, great town. We're growing faster all the time.
700,000 here now?
Scary.
Probably have $1 million by 1990. Nothing fancy there from the Bulldogs as Myron Jones carries again. Pickup of only 2.
Jimmy Cook almost snake bitten. 1 for 4 last week. He was wide to the right when he was at Utah State. Here he hit the right upright. His first kick blocked. As a kicker, they're so superstitious, and it's so tough when you're in a slump like this. Jim Cook worked so hard, and this is a tough game. 2 games back-to-back for him. You know, one of the things when you have 2 scoring opportunities and you don't get them, you know the reputation of Fresno State to shut out people. You really start to question yourself, and you really worry about losing your confidence. So the defense here has to play well. There's 5:55 left here in the first half. The Rebels are kind of in that little doldrums, and really nothing's happening good for them.
The fumble, and UNLV has it. Rosette had enough yardage for the first down, but Avery Miller, number 39, with the recovery.
Well, just as we said, nothing good was happening for the Rebels. They get the fumble. They've got great field position. Rosette coughs it up. We'll see it again. We'll see where the fumble's forced. A new look for the Bulldogs. They run the option with Barsodi. It was really just a sweep there. They knew they were going to pitch. Watch Rosette with the hit. Number 13, Al Hemmons, looked like caused the fumble. Watch it from ground level. See Hemmons on the hit there and the fumble. Avery Miller, they're good field position for the Rebels.
Now, this is the kind of situation that UNLV desperately needs to capitalize on against this Fresno State defense. Price will attack on first down. He wants it all for Wills, but there's nobody there. He threw it 15 yards too far.
Well, in the Fresno State defensive backs, they've been playing off of the receivers. We've noted that with just the quick out passes that the Rebels have thrown. There, that was almost putting one up just for the sake of putting it up. I don't think they have to loosen the secondary of the Bulldogs up with long passes like that, especially in a situation where they need to drive down and get a score.
Fresno State leading 14-0. UNLV's had 2 opportunities to score, 2 field goal attempts, 1 blocked and 1 hit the upright, and so far they've been blanked. Charles Price with a blitz coming. Was that caught by Nelson? I think it was. Jamie Nelson. The ball was thrown behind him, but he had the presence of mind to go out and fetch it.
Well, again, the Bulldogs come with an all-out blitz. Watch the 2 middle linebackers come. Price does a good job, but I'm not sure he's even throwing this to Nelson. I think he was throwing to Murphy underneath.
That's good enough for the first down to the Fresno State 35-yard line. We're approaching 5 minutes remaining in the opening half. Long signal count by Price. His tight end, that's the first time he's gone to the tight end tonight, Robert Welch. Now, Welch is an interesting story in that he's replacing the big shoes of Cedric Davis. who they thought was the best tight end in the history of the school. He hurts his neck, and Welch played last week and caught 6 aerials.
Well, when Cedric Davis was only a junior, the pro scouts were saying that he was almost a lock to be a high number 1 pick next year. Really a tragic thing. They're talking right now that Davis might not be back. It might be a career-ending injury, but Welch has stepped in and played well.
Second down and 3 from the Bulldog 28-yard line. Bryce again's going up top. And that was nearly intercepted by the linebacker, Brian Greer.
Well, they were trying to set the screen up there. Keyshawn Murphy was coming out of the pack, but just a high throw by Price. Price had good pressure up front, so I'm not sure that he could even see Murphy. He was just throwing to an area and hoping that Murphy was there.
Dave, I know it was the PCAA, now it's certainly the Big West. You could make a pretty good case for this Fresno State defense to be the best defense ever in the conference.
Well, and they're saying that this is the best defense that Jim Sweeney's ever had, and that's a pretty impressive statement with some of the players that he's had in his program.
And it's an obstacle that Rebels are going to try to overcome here on 3rd and 3. Darren Brightman runs so very hard, and he's got the first down. Darren Brightman.
Well, we said good things weren't happening for the Rebels. The fumble recovery, then the throw, and the completion, and then now the first down. So they've got something going. 3:59 left here in the second quarter. They've really, though, got to come out. They know that the Bulldogs have shut out 3 teams this year. They don't want to go into halftime without a score on the board.
Now out of the eye. Murphy has a big hole. He's inside the 10-yard line with a 1st and goal. John Murphy out of Edison High School in Fresno, California.
Watch John Murphy on the draw. Great blocking by the offensive line. You see Brightman get a good block there to open him up. Once he gets to the secondary, he just lowers his head. Does a good job.
And UNLV calls for a timeout with 3 minutes and 41 seconds left. Murphy's carried the ball 7 times for 35 yards. And, you know, UNLV dearly would like to get the touchdown in this situation.
This is a good call. There's 3:41 left in the half. Wayne Nunley, this is a good call to get his team over. Basically make sure we want to call the right play here. They're inside the 10-yard line. They definitely want to come away, not with a field goal, but with a touchdown in this situation.
College Football 88 is brought to you by Volkswagen, who invite you to see the Volkswagen Fox today at your local Volkswagen dealer. And by Stroh's and Stroh Light. Now you're talking good time. And Stroh's is spoken here.
Of Rebel Athletics.
Fresno State leads this series 5-4.
More information on the Rebel Athletic Club.
And here at the Sam Boyd Silver Bowl tonight, the Bulldogs trying to wrap up the Big West Conference title, lead UNLV 14-0. But the Rebels inside the 10-yard line.
Their first time inside the 20-yard line in this game. They had the 1 field goal block. Jim Cook missed the second attempt. So really, this is the 3rd time in scoring territory. You don't want to come away with nothing here.
I don't know that they'd be satisfied if they only came away with 3 here either. Not when you reach the 9. All this after the Darrell Rosette fumble was recovered by Avery Milley. Handoff, and Brightman's to the 4-yard line. Knocked off his pins by Craig Bones, but Brightman is certainly igniting the offense.
Brightman's such a tough runner. Watch him. Watch the lean that he gets. He turns back in. Does a good job. I wouldn't be surprised if Wayne Nunley didn't look at this as 4-down territory, where if he got down at least to the 1, that he wouldn't go for it.
John Murphy is the eye back. In front of him is Brightman. 2nd and 4 for a Rebel score. And it's Murphy. Cuts back right near the goal line, and he's apparently just short. Bones hit him there, and Rogers secured the tackle, but now they're going to roll it as a touchdown.
We talked about late flags. This is a late call on the touchdown as you hear the Rebel cannon go off. We'll see if Murphy gets in. The officials, this is a late call. They look like they confer to see if he does get in. Good cut back. can see him lower his head from that angle. It looks definitely like he's over the end zone. He is.
So it's 14-6 as John Murphy, a native of Fresno, in his freshman year, for the moment haunts the Bulldogs to shave their lead to 14-6. And Cook drills the extra point. 2 minutes and 52 seconds left here in the first half. And the Fresno State lead has been sliced in half. It's 14-7.
A big drive and a big score, and once again it shows you what turnovers can do to ignite a team. The Rebel offense was moving fairly well inside between the 20s, but there the turnover fired them up. Charles Price, I think, has gained some maturity here both last week and in this game, and is playing well.
David, and looking at this game, it's very, very competitive, and we also knew the odds makers were saying this could be one-sided again, and we've seen this pattern materialize before with those two games that we chatted about on the pregame show last week. San Diego State stunning BYU, and a few weeks before that, October 15th to be exact, we saw Long Beach State, who at that time hadn't won at all, beat a pretty good Cal State Fullerton team.
When you're playing in the conference, and especially like this game tonight, the Bulldogs are looking they can lock up the championship. The Rebels are saying, let's get something going here at the end of the year. Get ready for next year for a run at the championship, but if we can, let's at least spoil Fresno State's chance to lock it up tonight.
We're now given word that running back Tommy Jackson strained his left quad, and he'll be lost for the remainder of the season, it looks like.
Well, apparently he hurt it last week. He injured it somewhat last week. We injured it Wednesday in practice and came out to warm up. A lot of times until you start really running full speed and you get in those game conditions, you don't know the extent of the injury.
And that score got the UNLV fans involved now. And again, the Rebels aren't mathematically out of the conference title picture, but it's a long shot. And Cook belts this one, and there'll be no return. As the freshman Gerald Robinson just put the knee down on the end zone.
You know, Randy, there's a lot of time left in this first half with 2:52. The Rebels still have two timeouts left. Remember, Fresno State used to throw the ball all the time. They've changed their mode of travel to the ground. Now that it looks they're going to have to go back to the passing game if they want to move the ball. If the Rebels can stop the Bulldogs on these 3 downs, they'll get good field position.
Mark Barsotti, though, has one big strike in the air. With 2:52 left, he hit Craig Jones on a 49-yard touchdown, and that's the difference in the game. Barsotti is pushed out of the pocket, and he can run. Down he goes. But there again, the scrambling ability of Barsotti, and the ever-present Avery Miller, number 39, with another stop.
I think to play quarterback anymore, you've got to be able to run the ball, or at least be able to move out of the pocket and buy time and get positive yardage. Barsotti here, you can see him go upfield, tries to make it even a bigger play, turning back. But you've got to be able to run, and Barsotti, that's why he's in there, because of his running ability.
Avery Miller, defensively out of the same high school, Janet Yates High School, Houston, Texas, that produced Charles Price. Barsotti wanted Anthony Williams, but that one will not go in his picture book. It was not thrown well.
Barsotti didn't step into this throw. He got a little bit of pressure. Remember, he made the one good throw to his right earlier in this quarter, but unless you step into your throw, especially on a throw that's long, it's hard to get anything on the ball.
It's a big third down, and you can see that the Bulldogs have been denied. They're 0 for 3. 3rd and 5. And if Barsotti's unable to move the chains here, UNLV will get another crack at it before halftime. 14-7 Bulldogs. For Andre Alexander.
This is interesting. Remember, we talked about Fresno State being a running team. They come out and throw the ball 3 times. What they didn't do, though, was get a first down, and it stopped the clock every time on the incompletion. So the Rebels remain with 2 timeouts left, and they should get pretty good field position after this punt.
And 2 minutes. Lance over Parlighter, who's punted well tonight. Remember, they're replacing a great kicker in Barry Belli, who was not only a placement specialist, but the punter as well last year. But in loop and over Parlighter, they got 2 good ones. That's a very effective kick. picked up by McCardle at his 32, and he's giving ground. And Robert Nobles and David Shelton wrap him up. That's an excellent coverage by the Bulldogs.
Well, again, the strength of their special teams. There, McCardle, you don't want to give up yardage by running around, get upfield as much as you can. 151 left, 2 timeouts, and they're the passing game. The Bulldogs come out with 3 incompletions. They don't force the Rebels to use the timeout.
They get the good kick from Oberparleiter of 43 yards, and McCardle -1 on the return. So it's going to take a healthy drive now for Charles Price to get him even. And Price is dragged down by Mr. Tracy Rogers. And in the open field, he can tackle you as well as anybody, certainly in this conference.
He is so tough. Charles Price was getting up a little slowly there. The Rebels aren't known for their option running. When they run with Charles Price, it's usually the rollout and working on getting him outside. They don't run the option much. Got a Rebel down.
And, of course, UNLV has been sorely deprived this season.
It has clear natural enhancers that help reduce. It has clear natural enhancers that help reduce wrinkles. So right out of the dryer, your clothes are more ready to wear, which leaves you ready to live. And for less than a penny a garment, why let wrinkles stand in your way? New Downy Premium Care, ready to wear. The clear, light formula New Downy Premium Care, distilled with natural enhancers to reduce wrinkles. So different, it needs the new Premium Care ball, the only one that works with Downy Premium Care. Clearly beautiful.
You have smooth, beautiful skin, waiting to be revealed. Jergens Skin Smoothing Lotion with beta-hydroxy to gently exfoliate and smooth your skin. Jergens, it nourishes your skin.
Enjoy something made better with time. Introducing Slow Roast, a new coffee from Maxwell House.
I feel good. So good. So good.
Senecot laxative tablets work like second nature overnight.
I feel nice.
Excuse me, number 8 bus go here. I'm at number 9.
Who are you looking at?
Dry cleaners wouldn't take a check again, eh, Nigel?
Use Visa Check Card. It automatically deducts from your checking account everywhere Visa's accepted, so you can get what you need and get on with life.
This year for Telford. Got off to a very slow start, but he's been producing of late. Dave Telford, 1 minute left. And there's a flag down. And this one is obviously going against Fresno State.
That's offensive holding. That's a 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
See if we can see the hole. Phil Lujan, number 74, at the top of your screen. And he was ticketed. First and 20 from the 18-yard line. Telford, wide open is Alexander at the 35. Andre Alexander, that's his 28th catch this year for Fresno State. And a good throw here by Telford. They'll go now without the huddle, but you take a look at that completion to the senior Alexander. It's second down and 1. Telford. And it's tipped. And it's ruled incomplete. Only 30 seconds left now. Little Andre, transferred a couple years back from San Francisco City College. It's the same school that produced O.J. Simpson. Third and 1. Well, if you go down on the ground and pick it up, you should see that Bulldogs have all their timeouts remaining. Stop the clock, too, by moving the chains down. A little on. That's Kelly Skipper, who indeed skips for a first down, and Fresno State will utilize a timeout. They still have 2 remaining. And 25 seconds left. So Fresno State trying to work downfield and get in field goal range for Steve Loop. And when you think about Loop, keep in mind that he averages 1.78 field goals per game, which is 4th in the nation. He's 16 of 25 this year. And Loop is 12th in the country in scoring. As for UNLV, they dearly like to hold here. They're only a touchdown behind. They turned the ball over early. Fell behind 7-0 on a Myron Jones touchdown run of 2 yards. Then Mark Barsotti threw 49 yards to his tight end Craig Jones for a touchdown. But UNLV able to establish their offense after a Rosette foul. And Darren Brightman took it in from short range, and that's where we stand now at 14-7. Next week, we'll see these Bulldogs again on prime ticket at home against Jeff Graham and the Long Beach State 49ers. And we might say the rapidly improving Long Beach State 49ers. This last week, they had a big victory over San Jose State. Only 25 seconds left. The out pattern to Dwight Pickens. And Pickens is out of bounds at the 43-yard line of UNLV. Pickens, a heralded receiver out of El Camino Junior College, led them to the national title on the JC level last year. And he's had a good season for Jim Sweeney this year. The clock very much a factor, down to 19 seconds. Fresno State 7-2 on the year, looking for their 8th victory of the campaign. Pickens in motion. And Telford has done a good job, and he throws a perfect strike to Anthony Williams for another first down, but there is a flag with only 10 seconds remaining. How good are the Bulldog receivers? Well, Anthony Williams is playing second string. Last year, he played extensively, had a 90-yard touchdown at UP, was an honorable mention all-conference. And once again, it appears that Fresno State is hit with that holding foul, which has hampered Jim Sweeney's team throughout the half. Jim Sweeney in his 11th year has won or shared 4 conference titles. Fresno State's won 2 Cal Bowls. They'd love to go on and play the Western Michigan Broncos on December 10th. Western Michigan has already advanced, winning the Mid-American Conference title. They won last week and wrapped it up at Ball State. Fresno State's timeout gives them
We have
only
holding
1.
on the offense, penalized from the previous spot. Fresno would ask for a timeout. Timeout charge, Fresno.
So there's only 1 timeout remaining. That Western Michigan Bronco football team has a great quarterback in their own right, Tony Kimbrough. So our fans looking in Fresno on December 10th, you're going to see a good one. He can really throw it. He's thrown for better than 2,000 yards. And if his counterpart is this Fresno State team and he has to go against them, that'll be a great matchup of Western Michigan's offense against Fresno State's defense. But still, FSU has to get by either UNLV or Long Beach State. The moon over Las Vegas. Well, at least that's a slice of the moon anyway. The final 10 seconds. It's a scenic night. Why not? Dave Telford has been counseled by the sideline, and he comes back on. It's 1st and 20, but that really doesn't mean much here. Bulldogs need about 15 or 20 yards really to give Steve Loop a chance. That alternative is to keep it downfield and try to get all of it. And they do have the one timeout so they can stop the clock. Telford will run and get out of bounds with 3 seconds. And a flag goes down. And that could be a very costly error against UNLV. So Dave Telford elects to run. Chased out of the pocket by Derek Nicholson as he runs downfield. Appears that it was number 6 of UNLV, Gerald Robinson, that hit him late. And that will advance the ball upfield, and with 3 seconds left.
Out of bounds against the defense, automatic first down.
Steve Loop is on. And what a big play that could end up being in this game. Loop's going to have to kick it against the wind. Loop is coming off a premier showing last week. He was 4 for 4 against UOP in field goal attempts. Terrence Holly will hold from 44 against the wind. He hits it well, and he connects from 44 yards. And it is Fresno State that builds on their cushion. From 14 now to 17-7. And that penalty may come back to really haunt UNLV. We're at halftime. It's the Bulldogs looking for a conference title, leading 17-7. That is our halftime guest, a very distinguished guest indeed. UNLV President Dr. Robert C. Maxson. He's standing by with our David Huff.
I'm with UNLV President Dr. Robert Maxson. Dr. Maxson, thanks for taking time to come and join us. You've got to be happy with the play of your Rebels.
I think they're playing pretty good, Dave. Fresno State's a very good football team, and we're in the ball game. I think our kids are playing well.
This is really a tough game, this rivalry. I know you'd like to see them come out in the second half.
Well, I would, because when you're not having a very good season, which of course we aren't, and then you play the top team in the conference, if you can play them tough or beat them some way, it helps, I think, salvage the season for the kids. And I want it for the kids. You know, they work hard, and I know people are disappointed when you don't win, but no one wants to win more than that bunch of youngsters down there on the field. So I just hope they play well and they feel good about the way they do.
Dr. Maxson, I know one thing you feel real good about is the increase in the enrollment for UNLV.
David, we had another record enrollment. We've had a record enrollment
You see, the Great Western family has over 100 years of experience and more than $30 billion in assets, so you can feel real safe. Round up your financial affairs and settle down for good. The Great Western.
Available now, the 1988 World Series champion Los Angeles Dodgers in a 90-minute entertaining instructional home video, The Dodgers Way to Play Baseball. Host-narrated by Vin Scully with Tommy Lasorda, Oral Hershiser, Mike Marshall, Steve Sachs, and a host of other current and recent Los Angeles Dodgers.
If you let your arm get flimsy, especially your wrist, you get a side rotation on a curveball, which is not good.
Obviously, the batter finds it easier to hit the ball if his swing is parallel to the ground.
To order your personal copy of this unique home video, or to give the ideal Christmas gift for fans of all ages, call Morris Video now at 1-800-257-8888. That's 1-800-257-8888.
The Fresno State Bulldogs leading the UNLV Rebels 17-7. This is a series that Fresno State has led throughout the years, but only 5-4, and it's hard fought again here tonight with a 17-7 score. Highlights from the first half: Fresno State recovered an early fumble by Keyjon Murphy, and Myron Jones takes it in from the 2-yard line, his 8th rushing touchdown this year. Then Mark Barsotti, at the end of the first quarter, able to hook up with his tight end, Craig Jones, not related to Myron. And 87's going to leap high in the end zone, 49-yard score, and it was Fresno State leading 14-0. Jim Cook had a tough first half. Here, James Williams blocks his placement, and it remained 14-0. Darrell Rosette, though, was to turn it over here on the deep pitch from Barsotti. Rosette turns it upfield, and he's hit, fumbled, and number 39, Avery Miller, recovered. And that gave UNLV renewed life. And Keyjon Murphy takes it in from the 4-yard line. That made it 14-7. But after a penalty against Gerald Robinson gave Loop field goal range, and from 44 yards, Steve Loop connects. And that's where we are now at halftime. Fresno State leading 17-7 in this one. And, of course, if Fresno State wins here tonight, they will move on to the California Bowl to take on the Broncos from Western Michigan, who have already won the Mid-American Conference title. Fresno State is 7-2, and they were the conference favorite prior to the year. So it really isn't a surprise that they're out on top. However, it is somewhat alarming that some of the other teams, like San Jose State, has been struggling. A lot of people felt that San Jose would make a run, and so too Cal State Fullerton. But if anyone's going to deny Fresno State, it'll either be UNLV, and they're going to have to win here, and Long Beach State. They're the only two that have mathematical chances. Utah State is 4-2 in the conference, but they have a loss to Fresno State earlier in the year, 51-10. And keep in mind, when the Bulldogs go back home next week, they've outscored 4 opponents 175-10 at the Doghouse, where they seat about 35,000 each Saturday night to watch their beloved dogs do their thing. And Jim Sweeney has certainly built a tradition in Fresno, California. Of course, UNLV would like to do the same here and spoil it for Jim Sweeney. Now let's go back over to Dave Hum. Dave?
With Jim Cook's back to kick off, the Rebels will be kicking off into the win. Fresno State will start this second half with the win behind their back. We'll see if Telford or Mark Barsotti will come out and start a quarterback. Jim Cook, a tough last couple games, one for 4 last week against Utah State, 2 misses tonight. Lewis on the return. And we'll see number 17, Dave Telford, will start the second half at quarterback. We're not sure if Mark Barsotti was injured or if it was Jim Sweeney thinking of bringing in Dave Telford, because Telford really technically is the better passer of both of his two quarterbacks.
And of course, Telford is a very experienced QB with the working knowledge from a year ago. And it might be symbolic for him to get the title with a senior quarterback. Barsotti certainly with years ahead of him. Might be nice for the senior to win the championship. From the 14-yard line, it's first down. And flags are down.
We'll see where the Fresno State Bulldogs are moving there. Looked like there was Doc Wise. Looked like the Bulldogs jumped off sides.
The illegal procedure against the Fresno State Bulldogs. And I would imagine this is a crucial series for the UNLV defense. They need to stop Fresno State after what happened to them at the end of the first half.
Well, to give up the field goal,
offense did not set before the snap. First down.
Especially the roughing penalty on the sideline there, and to give it up, give them the field position to get in and make the field goal right before the half really is demoralizing.
First and 15, the Bulldogs from their 9-yard line. And from the eye, they give it off to Kelly Skipper. And he runs it out to the 12-yard line, and that's all. Number 90, Derek Nicholson there for the stop.
Derek Nicholson is really probably the most improved defensive lineman that the Rebels have. He's really gotten good at the pass rush and getting after people. Telford, we'll see if they put the ball up more. Tim Sweeney wants to throw the ball more with Telford in there.
I think that's a wise observation. I think Telford, who threw for 2,500-plus yards last season, and threw it to 70 times at Logan last year against Utah State. Yes, he likes to throw with Telford in. Telford will step up in the pocket. That's a good move to the 20. He's to the 23 or 24-yard line. Knocked off his pins by Avery Miller, but again, a nice effort by Dave Telford.
Dave Telford made a great move on Jody Reinhold, number 46. Remember Dave Telford, we were just saying he's the pocket passer. Here he gets pressure and runs out. Kelly Skipper up in front. He'll turn to try to get a block. But Telford does a good job of eluding Reinhold.
How about that? Fleet-footed? I am, right? 2 for 17. He got 11 there, and it's 3rd and 1. And Telford's going to throw on 3rd and 1, and wide open is Pickens. And Pickens is still in bounds. And Pickens is into UNLV territory. Dwight Pickens.
Pickens does a great job of keeping his feet in bounds. He just runs the short out. It's 3rd down. Al Emmons is way back on coverage here. Watch Pickens. Al Emmons 13 comes up. There, it looked like his right foot was out of bounds, but the official missed it. 29 yards on the gain.
Second longest reception of the year for Pickens. He had one earlier of 53 yards. Up the middle, and with it is Adrian Cooks, and he cracks inside the 45-yard line. Holding on from below is Doc Wise. Little hitter, and he nearly broke through.
Well, and we're seeing the Bulldogs mix their offense up. The run, the pass, we've seen Telford carry the ball upfield for a good gain. They're starting to mix things up, and where they were in poor field position, Telford's got them in Rebel territory.
And that scramble for 11 yards really scrambled the UNLV defense, it appears. Sent them back on their heels. It's 2nd and 5. And it's Adrian Cooks. And Cooks runs hard. And Adrian Cooks has a first down.
Well, they ran the dive option with Dave Telford there. I'm not sure Dave Telford's a real threat to take that option down there, but Cooks a good job on the cutback.
Adrian Cooks, out of Atascadero, a junior, used sparingly last year, but he's given his team a lift here. He was recruited out of high school by the likes of USC. 1st and 10, and the Bulldogs are on the march. And Telford missed the handoff, and down it goes. First man to make contact was 53, Dave Clark.
Randy, that time again, they looked like they were running the dive option, and there looked like there was a little mix-up there with Telford. You can see him shaking his head. I'm sure he's just saying, don't send that play in again.
And if you do, tell me about it. The communication's not there on that occasion. Only got one. At least he got a yard. 3 minutes elapsed here in the third quarter. Bulldogs are on the march. And Telford looking for all of it. A flag is down. It's ruled an incompletion. Alan Gardenhire, the former Rebel, diving for the ball.
Against Al Hemmons, and a great throw by Dave Telford. Telford does a good job of getting air under this ball and trying to get it out on the outside shoulder of Alan Gardenhire. Watch Hemmons, you can see here, he's draped all over him. Gardenhire looks like he makes the catch anyway. Good throw by Telford.
Remember, after the penalty, this drive started from the Fresno State 9-yard line. And with this infraction against UNLV, they're inside the 20.
This is not what Wayne Nunley wants to see. The field goal he gave up at the very end of the game, and here Fresno State comes out on their opening drive, drives the length of the field.
Ball just inside the 20. For Dave Telford, who has obviously given them a lift off the bench. And you started to see it last week when he hit 9 of 12 against UOP in relief. Both Pickens and Alexander wide to the right side. And Telford going back to the other side, and Skipper dropped it. And Kelly may have had a touchdown, get away from him.
Boy, again, another good throw by Dave Telford. Remember, Kelly Skipper, not a real tall running back. This is a good throw. This is one that Skipper should have had. That's a perfect throw by Dave Telford. He looked like he tried to catch it with one hand rather than getting both hands on the ball.
Second down and 10. You got to like what you've seen here in the Dave Telford Marching and Chowder Society. Play action again. And he's going to step up with the cup, and this time, nowhere to go. Notice him lunge out, trying to get a little bit extra.
That time they ran the play action pass. That releases the back and gives you one less guy that's in there to protect you. Good pressure by the Rebels.
It's 17-7 in favor of Fresno State. Just under 11 and a half minutes remaining, third quarter. With David Hum, I'm Randy Rosenbluth. We're at the Sam Boyd Silver Bowl in Las Vegas, Nevada. Anthony Williams split to the right side. Alexander and Pickens are deployed to the left on 3rd and 11. Over the middle, and it's intercepted. Well, so much for being impressive. Telford is picked off for the 6th time as Joni Reinhold has the interception.
On this play, the Bulldogs spread out all their wide receivers. Telford tries to throw to 22, Dwight Pickens, but Reinhold, the ball goes right to him, hits him right between the numbers.
So with 11 minutes left in the third quarter, the Rebels dodge a bullet. Fresno State continues to lead 17-7.
Okay, Alex will now do his famous dog impersonations. Grab a stroll light.
Jody Reinhold's first interception of the year denies Fresno State, but still the Dogs lead by 10 with 11 minutes left, third quarter. Charles Price directing the offense again. On the ground with Murphy. Ran into number 45, Tracy Rogers, who had a lot of help from Willie Howard, the ex-Marine, who's barking in there trying to get his team fired up. There he is.
Well, a field goal or a touchdown there would have made it a lot tougher on the Rebels. Not so much score-wise, but just emotionally. They know how good this Fresno State team is in their defense and how hard they are to score on. They're only giving up an average of 13 points a game and 7 points a game against Big West Conference opponents. So a big play by Jody Reinhold.
2nd and 8. Price and the Rebels still in the hunt. This is Brightman. They string him out, but a good effort. Rugeroli and Bowens finally drag him down, but that's close to first down yardage.
Brightman has such great feel. He really does play off his blockers. He lets his blocking develop and just has that good feel. Watch Darren Brightman. We'll watch him play and let his blocking develop in front. Just reverse handoff. Good block by Murphy in front, and then it's just all of Brightman by himself.
Jaron Brightman, 9 carries, 34 yards. He's shaken up right before intermission, but he's apparently okay.
This is a tough kid. He's got to be hurt to stay out.
Another player down. It's 17-7 Fresno State with 10 minutes, 14 seconds left. Third quarter. We'll have more after this.
A big college football 88 twin bill tomorrow as Prime Ticket brings you a Pac-10 game of the week. First, as Oregon clashes with Arizona. Then it's UCLA and Stanford in a battle in Pasadena. College football madness tomorrow on Prime Ticket.
Prime Ticket gives thanks for a spectacular sports month in November. Wayne Gretzky and Kings have 10 big ice wars, including the Rangers, New Jersey Devils, and Montreal Canadiens. College football gets ready to wrap up the 88 campaign, and Prime Ticket brings you a classic, USC and Notre Dame. Fight night at the Forum continues with some great pounding action in the ring. Team Cup volleyball, water polo, and collegiate soccer, too. Make it a special month to celebrate on Prime Ticket in November.
The Vancouver Canucks, a team the Kings just can't figure out, skates into the Forum for an early week battle with Wayne and the Black and Silver. It's another Prime Ticket exclusive Tuesday night from the Forum as the Kings meet the Vancouver Canucks.
The injured player for Wayne not only was Keenan McCardle, but the good news is he walked off under his own power, and he appears to be okay. It's 17-7 Fresno State with 10 minutes and 10 seconds left here in the third quarter. First down for UNLV. They keep it on the ground. And Kejon Murphy, this freshman from Edison High School in Fresno, is getting a workout.
He is, and he's showing a lot of composure, too. A lot of times, young players have a tendency to rush things, and I think that having the influence of Darren Brighton back there with him saying, young guy, just relax and have fun.
And this after a mistake. He coughed it up early that cost UNLV a touchdown, but he's run well since, and he scored a TD.
And that happened on the opening drive, so you've got to respect him keeping his composure. He's had 10 rushes for 45 yards and a touchdown. Not a bad night for a freshman.
Second and 6. Price. Keenan McCardle. As he beat Daryl Martin on the play.
Well, we're going to see what this penalty is also. 41, Daryl Martin. You don't throw the ball any better than Charles Price does right here. Again, they were throwing the quick out. This time they throw the quick fade. Watch how perfectly thrown this ball is. Keenan McCardle. Then Daryl Martin, watch at the end. McCardle will hand the ball to Martin. Martin throws it back. We'll see what the infraction is. 38 yards on the reception.
So Fresno State was so very close to breaking this game open. They were inside the UNLV 20.
Dead ball foul. Unsportsmanlike conduct against the defense, half the distance, automatic first down.
When he picked off the throw by Telford, now the Rebels are driving. And after that long hookup to Keenan McCardle, they're down to the Fresno State 12-yard line.
And again, the turnover, the interception by Dave Telford by Jody Reinhold. Turnovers fire teams up.
And it also fires up the fans. And they are making a lot of noise now at the Sam Boyd Silver Bowl. Murphy. He's to the 3-yard line.
You can see the Rebel offensive lineman jumping up and down. Number 64, Patrick Harden, gets a good block. But watch Murphy wait. Makes a good block, gets away from Ruggiero. A big run and a super run for this young freshman to get the Rebels inside the 5-yard line.
He did not get a first down. It's second and inches. They can get a first down without the touchdown. They go to the 3-back formation. That's Kyle Toomer in the middle, with Murphy on the left and Brightman on the right. And it's Murph again. Touchdown. So with 8 minutes and 34 seconds left in the third quarter, we have another good one brewing.
Who would have thought the Rebels would be this close here in the second half? Kejon Murphy, you can see no Bulldog there before he even crosses the goal line. 2 touchdowns for the young freshman.
Not only that, UNLV has had 2 kicks go awry. They had one block and one hit the upright. This is really a football game that could be even or ahead in. 17-13, and Jim Cook is on. Out of Western High School locally here in Las Vegas. In fact, both kickers prepped in Las Vegas. Another high snap. This one's down, though, and true to form. 8 minutes, 34 seconds left in the third quarter. The Rebels are back. It's Fresno State leading 17-14.
The 1989 Toyota Camry. Comfort. Room. Toyota quality. One more thing for 89. Camry has room with a great view.
Nothing captures the spirit of the Old West quite like the original Western bacon cheeseburger from Carl's Jr. Charbroiled with Carl's own recipe barbecue sauce. A sauce so smoky, so robust, so Western, you can almost hear the wind whistle and the coyotes howl.
Can I buy another drink, partner?
The original Western bacon cheeseburger, only at Carl's Jr.
Tuesday, the Los Angeles Kings host the Vancouver Canucks in the third game of a 5-game homestand. For great hockey action, join us Tuesday live at 7:15, only on Prime Ticket, sports television at its very best. So it's 17-14. Fresno State leading, but no question about it. UNLV has captured momentum. And Cook is kicking off. Gerald Robinson. Across the 25-yard line. All right, you're Fresno State. You've lost the momentum, but you do have the veteran at quarterback, Dave Telford, but he was picked off. Their game plan.
Well, Telford made a mistake. They had a good drive. They were down inside their 10-yard line. They brought the ball out, mixed it up, and I think Jim Sweeney will stay with the same thing. I don't think he'll go to the ground game. Telford's a veteran. He made a mistake on the throw to the interception of Jody Reinhold. I think they'll stay offense as usual.
Fresno State averages 33 points per game. Their defense allows 13 a game. Fullback Myron Jones. And he can't get outside. Trying to work inside and bolt back to the outside, but the defense led by Jody Reinhold would not let him loose.
Remember, the Rebels, they're staying home for the holidays. They know that Fresno State has a chance to go to the California Bowl. This is a team that's been down, had a lot of problems. They've had some injuries. They lost Cedric Davis last week, their tight end, who might have a career-ending injury. They've got to feel very good, the situation they're in right now.
Keep in mind, a tie would give Fresno State the championship. So if they tie, they would still go. Telford is loose again. And he pitched it late and out of bounds. And a flag goes down because he pitched it forward.
Telford the carry on the play.
It's known as running the option ugly.
Now, Dave, this was not an imitation of you, was it?
Well, I really didn't run the option a lot. That's why they made audibles. I usually audibilize out of them. But Telford does a good job. Here you can see it looks like he's going to pitch and tries to hold the ball up. They're going to call it a forward lateral. But a good job by Telford. Not real pretty in the execution, but good in the results.
So, Dave, Telford, a couple errors. This one was more mental than anything else. He probably should have just tucked it under and taken the first down yardage.
Well, we'll watch it again. He's trying to make something happen. That's the thing. He doesn't have the ball in the pitch position. He's carrying it like a running back would carry it now. You've got to get it out and get a hold of it. You can see where the ball just slipped. You saw Al Hammonds was coming up to hit him, but he is not a quarterback that's used to running the option, and you've got to carry that ball out and be ready to pitch it all the time. A mistake made in trying just to make something happen.
On the other side, he had already made something happen with a very nice run on Wayne Nunley. Really charged up us in the game.
An illegal forward pass on the offense. That's a loss of down penalty. It will be third down.
Oh, it's third down for Fresno State. We'll take one more look at Dave Telford's mistake.
See how Dave Telford carries the ball like a running back, tries to get it out so he's in the pitch position. Not used to running this a lot, and the practice of it in the daily execution puts it on the ground.
Myron Jones has a first down. The bad news, it was third down. The good news, it was only 3rd and 2 because the penalty was from the spot of the pitch. So Jones charges upfield, and it really doesn't hurt him.
But you've seen Jim Sweeney with Dave Telford in there do a lot of different things. Telford's run the option. They're throwing the ball with Telford. He can basically use the full complement of his offense.
At the 40-yard line, 7.5 minutes left in the third quarter. Buckle your seatbelts. We got a good one. Stay home for this one on Prime Ticket. Fresno State and UNLV. And it's Myron Jones to the outside where he's explosive. Look out here. Myron Jones is to the UNLV 37-yard line.
Myron Jones with that great speed does a great job of getting upfield. The Rebels that time were trying an all-out blitz, which leaves that middle open. They had the perfect play called the draw with a player like Jones and that speed. They'll run the draw, and you'll watch the Rebels try to get pressure outside. They bring the outside linebackers, and inside linebackers drop for coverage. Jones makes the move to the middle and breaks it to the outside, and watch the acceleration.
There have been times this year Myron Jones has not started only because the coaching staff wanted to fire him up and get more out of him. Well, they're getting it out of him here tonight. And they're staying on the ground, and they're staying with a weapon right now, Myron Jones.
Well, sometimes when there's a mistake, like the interception of Telford through to Jody Reinhold, the coach will all of a sudden get conservative. Here in this drive, Jim Sweeney says, let's go back to basics and run it right at him.
And keep in mind that offensive line of Phil Lujan, and the likes of Rick Morgan and Jim Radaman and Ray Langham and Jeff Trushell doing a good job. Second down and 4. So Jones gained 6 on that first down carry. Again, it's on the ground.
Kelly Skipper.
I think
Kelly Skipper on this occasion. Sorry, Dave.
Jim Sweeney will keep this ball on the ground as long as he's successful, picking up this 4, 5, 6 yards to carry. He'd like to get a score here and take a little wind out of the Rebels' sails to come back and get that score they just did to make it 17-14. He knows that these Rebels, if they're down, they're disappointed with their season, and what a win this would be for the Rebels. So he doesn't want to give the Rebels anything cheap right now.
Rebels close out their home season here next week against San Jose State. Of course, Fresno State closes out their regular season schedule at home next Saturday at a game you'll see against Long Beach State on Prime Ticket. See if they have the first down on Skipper's carry. Well, they're about, 5 inches shy? You really have it down to play with. Would you dare go up top?
Dave Telford he's shown he can run the ball. I wouldn't be surprised if they would roll him out and throw it.
Well, they're at the UNLV 28-yard line, leading 17-14. And the clock is under 6 minutes remaining, third quarter. Out of that wishbone, and it's Myron Jones. And he's on the outside, and when he does that, he's very dangerous. He turns the corner, first down, and another late flag. As Charles Anthony apparently hit him out of bounds. Look at Charles. Can't believe it. Number 4 beside himself.
Well, that's a mental mistake right there. You see the official with the roughing call. This cost the Rebels 3 points at the end of the first half. And when you're in a situation, in a game like this, a game that you really need to win if you're looking at the Rebels, we'll watch Charles Anthony here. Myron Jones gets outside. He's got great speed. Watch Charles Anthony. You can see him pursuing him. Once you get there, he's got him out of bounds. you can't continue on the progression to keep pushing the ball player out of bounds.
So Fresno State now at the UNLV 12-yard line trying to answer back that Rebel score that has brought them to within 3. Fumble by Telford. And he's fortunate enough to get it back. Well, that's just a lack of playing time. Him and Jim Radaman have not exchanged it enough in playing time. You know, it's a little bit different in the practice sessions than the real game.
Well, in the practice sessions, first-string quarterback with first-string center, second-string quarterback with second-string center. So everybody's got a little different technique in snapping the ball, and you can see the Matthews there with Telford.
2nd and 10 from the Rebel 12. Alexander wide to the right. Pickens deployed to the left. Telford on the delay. And it's Adrian Cooks who goes in for a touchdown. A 12-yard touchdown scamper by Adrian Cooks.
Well, and there's Jim Sweeney football. He made the mistake throwing the ball. He came right back, mixed the pass in a little bit, but it's the run that got the Bulldogs in the end zone. We'll watch the screen here. Adrian Cooks, wide open field, the spread formation, spread the Rebel defense out. Usually down in this situation, you're in man-to-man coverage, which just leaves the linebacker on that back and no one there to pick up Cooks.
So after Murphy's touchdown, Fresno State marches the length of the field, and Cook scores from 12. And Steve Luke makes it 24-14 with 5 minutes and 7 seconds left. Third quarter.
Whenever you've got an underdog team like the Rebels and you give them that score, it really pumps them up, and you come right back and score on them. That takes a lot of air out of their sails.
So Fresno State with a big tally there. College Football 88 is brought to you by Volkswagen, who invite you to see the Volkswagen Box today at your local Volkswagen dealer. And by Carl's Jr. Restaurants. Try the Western Bacon Cheeseburger, only at Carl's Jr. The choice is yours. It's 24-14 Bulldogs over UNLV. And as soon as UNLV challenged, and Wayne Nunley knows it, you have to say that championship teams show their caliber. And as soon as the Rebels made the challenge, Fresno State did indeed answer.
And they did, with a 9-play, 74-yard drive, and took 3 minutes and 27 seconds, and that's what Jim Sweeney, that shows the mark of a championship team.
Scott Musser once again to kick off for Fresno State to Ricky Wills and Bernard Jackson. There's the scoring drive with Adrian Cooks getting the score. Wills thinks about it and says, well, I better not.
I've been impressed with the play of Charles Price. Price has played very well. He's thrown the ball. He's shown a lot of composure. Through the fade, a great pass, the fade that got them into good field position.
You know, Charles Price really came of age last Saturday when he threw for 257 yards. That's the most since former pretty good quarterback here, Steve Stallworth, passed for 276 yards against Pacific in 1986.
Well, and Price is 10 for 19 for 145 yards tonight.
But with 5 minutes left in the third quarter, his team is down by 10. And it's on the ground. And it's Darren Brightman struggling and not going very far. You just wonder how many points, though, UNLV could make up against this Bulldog defense.
Well, this is not a defense that you can come back and score easily. They really don't give up the big play, and that's what the Rebels are going to start looking for.
And UNLV does not have depth either, certainly in the skill positions through injury. And you just wonder if they're going to tire as this game proceeds. 2nd and 9. Price. Wills gets free. That's just a great individual effort for the first down.
Ricky Wills just on the little short slant takes the ball and makes a great move to get away from the defender. These guys are fired up. They don't believe they're out of this game.
No, they're not.
Again, the 3-step drop by Charles Price. Ricky Wills the defender there, number 31, James Williams. Just a great individual effort.
At the 34-yard line. Price building confidence again. Keyshawn Murphy. Nearly with another big gainer.
Well, that's the second time the Rebels have, from that pass, they threw it once in the first quarter that it was a little bit behind Murphy, but this looks like a perfect throw to Murphy. He's got one hand trying to pull the ball down, but again, you look at Murphy, the freshman, you know he doesn't get a lot of practice time, probably hasn't run that play a lot, doesn't get a lot of balls thrown to him. Unfortunately, it was a good throw by Charles Price.
I got to tell you, Hummer, I like Charles Price. He's a pretty good-looking quarterback. Just a freshman, 2nd and 10. Another dart from Keenan McCardle, but this time Daryl Martin has snuffed out the play.
Charles Price, he's really shown his arm strength there. Another long throw across the field. They've thrown this play 7 or 8 times. Watch Charles Price looks downfield real quick. Ball on a line, little wobble on the line. They just hope that Keenan McCardle can make the play and break free. 3rd down and 3. But Charles Price has really impressed me with this throwing.
And his leadership. Look how talkative he is in there. He takes the bull by the horn. See, the Rebels have been very productive on 3rd down conversions. 4 of 5, and they need one here on 3rd and 3 at their 41-yard line. Timeout for the moment, and it's called by UNLV. Well, they'll only have 2 remaining. Charles Price wants to make sure on this 3rd and short he's able to convert.
Well, I understand that, but you really don't like to use your timeouts. You'd like to save those for the end of the game. It's only 24-14, Fresno State. You'd like to have those sometimes. So many times you go down to the end of the game, you look where you burned a timeout earlier in that half, and it comes back to haunt you.
UNLV trying to spoil the victory party tonight of Fresno State. Bulldogs in search of a conference crown. They can win it outright if they hold on here. Jim Sweeney exhorting his team on. They're 2-0 in the Cal Bowl. Nobody can make that claim from the Big West.
Jim Sweeney, he is so much fun to play for. He's a guy that if you make mistakes, if you make mental errors, he will really get on you. But as far as being, they say, a player's coach and a guy that's fun to play for, and fun, when you work hard, you work hard. When you play hard, you play hard. He's something special.
And his teams reflect that. What a great winning percentage he's had at Fresno State. He has just been a dominant force in the conference. 80 wins, 41 losses, and 1 tie. Still on his way again to another fine year. It's 3rd and 3 for UNLV. McCardle in motion. And they stay on the ground to Brightman. And his second effort. It appeared that he was going to get hit short, but Darren Brightman was not to be denied, and he got the first down. What an effort by Darren Brightman.
But again, we talk about Darren Brightman built so low to the ground, and when he's got just 3 yards to go, he gets that lean. He broke the tackle of 84 John Blackwood to go ahead and get it.
Brightman out of Point Loma High School in San Diego, California, 3rd year in the Rebel program. He's not shabby. He had rushed for better than 400 yards coming in. He's just in the shadow of Tommy Jackson here. Price is down he goes. Willie Howard from his defensive end knifed in and made the stop.
Well, the Rebels giving a different look. Charles Price gets up limping. But again, the different look, I think Price is more effective with the rollout plays where he's got the option to run rather than just run the option play.
Willie Howard answering some big shoes, filling those shoes anyway. Jethro Franklin, what a defensive end he was for the last 2 years for Fresno State, the all-time sack leader for the Bulldogs. Willie Howard with a big play there, and it's 2nd and 13 as he tags Price for a 3-yard setback. Nearly intercepted by Tracy Rogers in front of the tight end Robert Welch.
That is one Charles Price should not have thrown. Tracy Rogers, good coverage, read the play well. You can see Tracy Rogers upset with himself. That's when he should have just thrown out of bounds, because if Rogers had that, he might not have scored, but he would have given the Bulldogs great field position.
Well, now it's 3rd and 13, and Jim Sweeney can probably look to that defense and send the troops. They love to blitz.
Well, and they don't give up the big play. That's one thing that Jim Sweeney's defenses are known for.
It's amazing, too, a defense that gambles that much and doesn't give up the big play. That says a lot for the speed and, I guess, the athletic ability.
It tells a lot about the overall talent of that defensive unit, that he's not only depending on one or two people, but that there's talent across.
Seconds left in the third quarter. Knocked down, and it'll be a 4th down situation. So that Fresno State defense holds. Charles Price will go to the sideline, and the Dogs will get the ball back.
Watch this throw. Bernard Jackson will come across the middle. This is a dart by Charles Price. It hits Jackson right in the face mask. See that ball come off that helmet, how hard it was thrown, the velocity on it.
And in defense of Bernard Jackson, he was a running back most of his career, and he's been moved to wide receiver. Alexander has nowhere to go. Sensational coverage. Clark and Kyle Toomer. 37-yard kick by Rhines, no return. Fresno State leading by 10. And 2 minutes and 11 seconds left in this, the third quarter.
Tony Rhines gives such great hang time on his punts, even the long punts. A lot of times when you hit the long punt, they're line drives. With Tony Rhines, he can kick a 50 or 55-yarder and still get tremendous hang time.
Telford on first down. Will run again to the 25-yard line where he's upended. Trying to get a block from Myron Jones to turn the corner and couldn't get one.
Trying to silence his critics, I guess. He said he couldn't run the ball.
Tyrone Carter's the one that sent him airborne.
7 rushes for 37 yards for Dave Telford.
He may start at halfback next week. Second down and 7. Skipper to the 30-yard line. He's 2 yards short of his first down as Jody Reinhold holds on.
The skipper there showed the great moves that he has. He's such a darting back. He's got great feet, great speed. He's always looking to make something happen, try to break the big play.
Down to a minute left in the third quarter, and Fresno State trying to earn an outright conference championship in the Big West. Myron Jones has a first down to the 36-yard line. I like him. He's only a junior. And you're right, it's not just the speed, it's the strength. He gets an extra yard or two almost every time.
He's that back that runs with such high knee action that anybody that tries to wrap him, those knees just tear through.
An effective drive on the ground again. This is what Fresno State has done to its opponents all year. Picks up a passing game, too, with Telford now. Then he hits Craig Jones. And he gets 9 yards to the 44.
Telford has played well. He's run the ball. A lot of times defenses they'll go in. They were scouting Mark Barsuti, and then Dave Telford comes in. They've got a quarterback that they haven't prepared for. They don't think Telford's a running quarterback. He's taken the ball up and made some big plays.
Got 8 seconds, and Fresno State has elected not to run another play in this third quarter. It's second down and 1 when we come back to the Sam Boyd Silver Bowl in Las Vegas, Nevada. Fresno State in terms of a conference championship as they lead UNLV 24-14.
This is no place to be on your own. Without a guide, you can get lost real fast. It's kind of like taking care of money matters nowadays. You need a partner you can trust to show the way. Like Great Western. They can handle all your banking needs, from home mortgages and refinancing to checking and CDs, even investment services. You see, the Great Western family has over 100 years' experience and more than $30 billion in assets, so you can feel real safe. Need a strong financial partner? Let Great Western show you the way.
The final 15 minutes of this one. Fresno State in search of a Big West championship. They have the ball second and a very short 2 from their 44, leading by 10 points. And it's Myron Jones, and he cracks it out to the 50-yard line, and he has a first down.
Jones looks great. Fresno State with a score here will really change the philosophy that the Rebels, they're going to have to open it up more, and that'll put a lot more pressure on Charles Price. So the Rebel defense really has to step in here. Any kind of score for Dave Telford and his offense looks great for the Bulldogs.
Andre Alexander swings wide to the right side. Pickens deployed to the left. The swing pass to Skipper. 50. Good move at the 45, 40. Down that sideline to the 34-yard line. Covered up by Charles Anthony, but it's another first down for Fresno State.
Well, that's just the quick screen, and that's designed to get the ball. It's almost like a long handoff to get the ball to a running back like Kelly Skipper. He did a great job. Watch the move that he makes on Avery Miller. This is just a quick drop and the quick screen to Skipper. Watch Avery Miller, 39, come in. He just moves to the inside and runs right around him. Great run by Skipper. Look at his balance.
Kelly Skipper, a household name in Fresno. He's been around a long time, the senior. A 4-year player. Has started most of those 4 years. First back through. It's Myron Jones. Not very much this time. That Rebel red collapsed that front wall.
But you can see that second and third effort that Jones gives it. He doesn't just take a hit and go down. It took 3 Rebels there to get him down.
Last one getting up was Doc Wise defensively. And he gets 4 yards, and it looked like it wasn't productive at all. Replaced by Adrian Cooks, who has a touchdown in this game. Could be an ideal drive for Jim Swinney. Keep it on the ground, kill the clock, score again, and start to celebrate. Skipper short of his first down. Last year, UNLV was cuffed around in Fresno 45-10. And it was 10-3 UNLV, so you can see how it slid in the other direction, all for Fresno.
But again, you look at Fresno, how tough they are at home. If you're going to have a chance against them, if you're going to have a chance to score them, it's better at your own home.
Well, they're not going to have to stay away from the dughouse anymore. They finish up the regular season there, and then they qualify December 10th, the Cowboys at home. And it's Cooks again with a gaping hole. He's inside the 20, and it's another Fresno State first down.
Well, there was third down and 4. It's either the run or pass situation. They ran the draw to Cooks, and Cooks, again, that complement of running backs. They're always bringing a new back in, and the quality doesn't fall off from one back to another.
This is as good as Adrian Cooks has looked all year for Fresno State. And Skipper and Jones are in. We haven't seen much of Rosette in the second half. Rosette's the guy that ran for 148 yards last week. And they keep it on the ground again with Skipper. 15. He's down near the 10-yard line. Kelly Skipper. And now it is becoming all Fresno State.
Well, that offensive line for Fresno State is so strong, and the Rebel defense has been out there quite a bit here in the second half. Skipper that time did a great job. It was the draw. He just hesitated a little bit to let things open up, broke it, and got close to second down and 1, got 9 yards on the carry.
Down to 12 minutes left in the game. Ball nudged just inside the Rebel 10-yard line. Running from the I formation to give Skipper a little bit more room to survey. They go into the middle of the line and get that first down with Myron Jones. It's nice to have an eye back so he can see the whole field. And Skipper's a veteran. He knows how to use the field.
Sure. Well, the eye back, usually he's 7, sometimes 8 yards back. Marcus Allen from the I formation at USC and all those tailbacks at USC. The great backs have that vision. They're far enough back that they're like a quarterback in the shotgun. They can see what the defense is doing and how the holes are developing.
It's 1st and goal now. 1st and 8 for a touchdown. Pickens wide left. Alexander to the right. Jones, the fullback, and Skipper, the I-back. And it's Iron Myron again, this time to the 6-yard line.
That's awfully tough running down there when you get inside the 10. The defense, everything goes inside the tackles, and it's so tough to run there. We'll watch Jones again. No lead block here when the fullback carries the ball. He's just hoping his offensive line. You can see Doc Wise there. Good job. There's no lead block for that fullback. He's just got to depend on the offensive line to fire that defensive line out.
2nd and goal from the 5. Fresno State leading by 24-14 with 11 minutes left. Skipper. Between the 2 and the 1-yard line. Skipper has scored touchdowns in his last 6 games. That streak is in jeopardy. And he's trying to continue that. He came about 1.5 yards shy.
Good pursuit by the Rebels there, but you can see the option when you've got a back with the ability of Skipper to get outside. He gained 4 yards on that, got it close to the 1-yard line.
Now 3rd and 1 for the touchdown. Keep in mind Myron Jones' leaping ability. We saw that in the first quarter when he went over the top. They run out of that wishbone with Cooks, the fullback. There's Jones, there's the leap, there's the touchdown on cue.
A replay of the touchdown in the first quarter. Myron Jones with that good vertical leap. Watch, he'll leap, get in the air about the 3-yard line, leaps over, and it's outside. The linebackers for the Rebels are over the guards. That goes off the tackle. With the ability of Jones to get in the air, it's an easy score. Watch how high Jones gets up. You see the Rebel linebacker stacked in the middle. Jones way over the top.
Myron Jones. 9 rushing touchdowns now this year, and it's 30-14. And Steve Luke with a flag down. Now he drilled the extra point. And the Bulldogs may have an option here because it's against UNLV. That should go on the ensuing kickoff. And will, with 10 left in this game, Fresno State has a nice working margin, up 31-14.
Wednesday night, the explosive Los Angeles Lasers get on the carpet at the
19 seconds away from qualifying from the California Bowl, leading 31-14 as Musser kicks off. Ricky Wills at the 1. To the 29-yard line. Knocked down by Davis Shelton, but an electrifying run by Wills.
Well, and we saw Wills earlier on just the little quick hitch, break a tackle. Watch Wills, not that big, but watch his desire. When you're returning kickoffs, that's not the best duty in the world, but watch Wills. He's looking for a hole. He does a great job of breaking tackles. There, number 93, Willie Howard had a shot at him. You just have to take pride when you're a kickoff returner, and Ricky Wills has done a great job tonight.
Well, now it has to be a rush job for Charles Price. He has 10 minutes, which is a lot of time, but he's down 17 points. He goes back to the air and wide open. On the outside, a fine throw to Ken Rogers. Going down that depth chart a little bit now with tight ends. Welch started. Keep in mind they've lost their All-American candidate, Cedric Davis. So that's a third-string tight end in Rogers.
Well, that's why you've got to respect the play of the Rebels. Cedric Davis was a leader on this team, and to lose him to the neck injury last week, they really didn't know what his status was after the surgery, if he'd be able to come back. And these players have come out and played well.
They have not packed it in at all. It's a football team at UNLV that emotionally is in the game. Murphy knocked off his pins and then secured by Robert Nobles. Again, a good charge from that defensive front of Fresno State. That was led by Chuck McCutcheon.
The Rebels this year have only scored 32 points in 8 games in the fourth quarter, so they're averaging 4 points a game in the fourth quarter. This is where we'll see Charles Price, the young quarterback's going to have to get his offense in and out of the huddle, up to the line, and run some plays.
It's third down, and still 2. On the ground with Darren Brightman. It's a first down. As Blair Holloway makes the stop, but not before he reaches the 45-yard line.
Fullbacks don't always log or get to log a lot of carries. Tommy Jackson, he was the running back here. Now Keyshawn Murphy has taken Jackson's place, but Brightman, I believe it seems like if you get him the ball more, he always seems to pick up big yardage for you.
UNLV's getting better, and as you look to the future next year, they should have a pretty good football team for Wayne Nunley. Not a very large group of seniors here at all. Threw it behind his intended target was number 22. That, of course, being Jamie Nelson. Only 7 seniors on this UNLV team.
The split screen. We watched Jamie Nelson. Good throw or good technique with the ball behind Nelson. Nelson couldn't get turned around and get both hands on the ball.
Second down and 10. Come on, Wade! Rebels desperately need a strike here. They've got to move the football. They may need the big play. They're down by 17. And keep it on the ground to Murphy. He gets 5 yards to the 50. Makes it third down as Robert Nobles made the stop. What about that call on second and 10? Staying on the ground.
Well, that's not a bad call. That's a draw play. There's 8:12 left in the game. It's third down and 5. You can't throw the ball every down. Sometimes when you can spread them out with your formation, if they're in a zone defense, it works pretty well. If they're in man, there's a linebacker that's man-on-man back that runs the draw.
Third down and 5 for UNLV. Intercepted. Tony Harris, the senior, the leader back there, the strong safety. And that's a big interception for Harris. That's his score for the year, tying him with his teammate Greg Bones for the conference lead.
Remember, Charles Price did this pass effectively in the first half, but this time they run the same play. He watches Wills all the time. That's where the freshman with the inexperience watching the receiver all the way, safety free to look at his eyes and see where he was going.
And that leads to a mass exodus here at the Sam Boyd Silver Bowl. They're going to the exit in a hurry after that interception. It's looking very good for Fresno State. 7:43 left in this one. They lead 31-14. Pickens to the left. Back to the ground this time, and it's Telford carrying for the 8th time.
That's a little surprising. I'm sure Dave Telford last year when they went to spring ball, and Jim Sweeney says we're going to keep the ball on the ground more and run the option more. Some quarterbacks will transfer, but Dave Telford's running the ball well tonight.
Now, we want to remind our viewers that immediately following this, when you have an opportunity to look at the number 6 ranked UCLA Bruins against Jack Elway's Stanford Cardinal, right here on Prime Ticket. It's 3rd and 6. And the Bulldogs have done well on third down conversion. Over the middle to Jones. And the burly tight end is close to a first down, and then he's wrapped up by Ron Banks. Greg Jones caught 6 last week against UOB. And been in the game plan again tonight. It's 4th down, though.
Dave Telford is still in there.
Well, with 6.5 minutes left in the game and a 17-point lead, Jim Sweeney reluctant to punt it.
Dave Telford raising his hands going, are you sure, Coach, you want me to stay out here? I think what Jim Sweeney's doing, they're on the Rebel 47-yard line. He's going to take that 5-yard penalty, move it back, give his punter a better angle at getting it outside the 20.
Well, there's the penalty, and on cue, here comes the punting unit. We're going to take a break. Fresno State leading by 17 at 31-14. And Keenan McCardle with a short return out to the 17-yard line. That's where UNLV will direct its offense from with only 6 minutes remaining. They have to make up 17 points.
Well, this is where the young quarterback, Charles Price, they're going to be throwing on every down. And we'll see what kind of offense that Rodney Bell, the offensive coordinator for the Rebels, comes up with.
And Price just had one intercepted by the strong safety, Tony Harris. To the ground, and Murphy. From behind, he's tackled by Tracy Rogers, number 45.
I've really been doing a great job.
You're the analyst, right?
When the Bulls, I guess that's why they
I can't wait to see your predicted score after this game, too.
I guess that's why they waved me so many times. I say for the Bulldogs, if you on the ground and Telford throws the ball, I say Charles Price is going to throw it, and they run the draw.
Expert analysis of David Hum tonight.
You could have made a name up there.
What are friends for, though? You gotta tell the truth. 5.5 minutes left.
Up top.
Split receivers to the left for the Rebels. Not a good throw by Price. Too low. That would have been a very tough catch for Keyjohn to come up with there. Price saying just didn't have enough steam behind that one.
Well, you can see Charles Price is upset with himself. That was just technique-wise. He just rushed the ball. He's throwing it to his left. He's got to get his hips around. If you rush that throw, it's always going to be low.
Well, it's 3rd and 5 now. This Fresno State defense gets tougher and tougher. They're like nails at this point in the game, licking their chops to go after the quarterback.
Defense loves this situation.
Team has 31.5 sacks this year. Here comes Ron Cox. And he forced that play. Didn't get the sack there, but Cox forced the hand of Price and he had him low.
There, when you've got a young quarterback, you see Keyjohn Murphy getting up. He's run that play 3 times. Had 2 that he maybe should have had. That time he took a pretty good hit when the ball got there. But a young quarterback, they're going to put pressure. Only 5:15 left in the game. You see Wayne Nunley looking like he's saying it's going to be a tough day for us.
Rhymes now to punt it away, and Andre Alexander stands back at his 35-yard line. Rhymes is running with it. And I believe he has the first down. Knocked down by Tracy Rogers, but it's a productive play.
Watch the fake punt by Tony Rhymes. Punter can set this up by doing the motion like he's going to punt. Does a good job, just gets to the sticks and gets the first down.
You also saw the ability of Tracy Rogers to come across the field. Indeed, he's got to be the Big West Conference Defensive Player of the Year.
6'2", 250 pounds and can run.
Who's going to tell him he isn't? And the Rebels use another timeout. They're down to only 1. Tuesday, It's Your Call previews the upcoming USC-UCLA football matchup. You'll have an opportunity to talk with former Heisman Trophy winners Mike Garrett of USC and Garrett Beeman of UCLA. It's Your Call, Tuesday, live at 6:30.
Randy, the thing that makes this timeout so costly is they went into punt formation, ran the fake punt. Now remember, the offensive unit and Charles Price were on the sideline to get a call, to get a play call, to come in. They came back on the field and had to call timeout. That's about as costly as it can get.
Charles Price, though, it's a learning year for him, certainly. Wasn't even expected to start. Scott Sims was the starting signal caller at the beginning of the year. Price won the job, led them to a victory over Ohio University, hitting Michael Reddick on a dramatic 80-yard touchdown that propelled them to a win. And I think he's certainly improved, and he has a world of potential. And Wayne Nunley now has something to build around offensively.
Well, Charles Price, remember, he's only a redshirt freshman. And a quarterback, especially like Charles Price, you can see him in the huddle, how he has these players respect.
First down from the 29 on the ground, and that didn't work as Ron Cox came in and disrupted the play.
Well, and we'll see the Rebels going to their 2-minute offense right here.
Darren Brightman carried it. I'm somewhat surprised that they're running the ball here.
I am really shocked. I saw Price walking up to the line, looking like they were going to go into the 2-minute offense to 4:33 in the game. I'm a little surprised with this.
Not only they rush the ball, they don't get any yardage out of it. Second down and 10. And a flag is down. Not a movement on the right side of the offensive line.
False start on the offense. Second down.
Referee Mike Pereira. Dustin Quinton apparently moved prematurely, and it's 2nd and 15. And the hurry-up offense is anything but.
Kind of like Oklahoma's 2-minute offense.
Right. 4 minutes left in this one. 31-14 Fresno State. That's a good pass and throw to Keenan McCardle. And James Williams from behind stops him at the 50-yard line, or he was off to the races.
And a great throw by Charles Price. Tony Harris has a shot at Keenan McCardle. McCardle's just going to go and run the deep end. You can see Price gets good protection here. McCardle waiting for the inside to clear out. Look at the technique by Price. We'll watch his reaction. Watch Keenan McCardle. Tony Harris has a shot at him. Does a good job. He thought he was going to break away there.
Price had that one batted down. Ron Cox got one of those big paws up and knocked it away.
Well, Cox was blocked, and when you're blocked, the coaches tell you get your hands up. He timed that perfectly. He knew that the Price was coming to his side, and he just timed it perfect.
Ron Cox, only a sophomore, was a freshman All-American, Sporting News. And he is a terrific linebacker. Second and 10. On the draw, minimal yardage to the midfield stripe for Kyle Toomer. And Robert Nobles knocked him down.
When I was in Buffalo with Chuck Knox, I thought Chuck had the best philosophy for the 2-minute offense. Joe Ferguson was a starting quarterback there. And when we would have our meetings, and here the clock is still running, they're running the ball. Chuck always sat in our meetings and he says, quarterbacks, all we have to do, we're going to throw every down. Don't force it. We just need 1 out of 4 here. It's 4-down situation. Give me 1 completion and 4 attempts. Here it's down to 3 minutes. Running the ball, it just kills you.
On 3rd and 8, Price is sacked. Terry Cook, number 67, the first man to get to Charles Price. And it's 4th down, and Rhines is back out, and this time I'm certain he'll punt.
Well, because I'm sure he's going to punt, because I'm sure that the punt coverage team right now is not going to give up the fake punt. So if Wayne Nunley's thinking that this is a situation that he can run the fake punt again, they're going to have a problem here. I'm sure these guys, this is no rush. They're just going to sit there and watch Rhines.
Well, he's going to run with it. Oh, so much for what we said. And Tracy Rogers from behind knocks him down, and there should be a penalty. He pushed it forward purposely, but what an effort again by both Rhines and Tracy Rogers.
Rhines tried the Kenny Stabler against the San Diego Chargers fumble forward. Watch Rhines again, and watch at the end of this play. He's going to try to fumble the ball forward. Tracy Rogers chasing him from behind, but watch him just throw the ball a la Kenny Stabler, trying to get it by the first down marker.
Can't say enough, though, about Tracy Rogers. I guess it's a fitting conclusion. They stopped UNLV. They're going to wrap up the conference crown, and it's their leader out of Taft, California, that made the hit. Well, your impression of Fresno State, this is the first time, David, I know you've seen them this year.
Well, they've changed their philosophy.
Half. That is against the offense. Results in a loss of down penalty. That's a first down Fresno.
They've changed their philosophy to the running game, but when you've got running backs like Jim Sweeney has, you go with your strength. He's got a young quarterback, and Dave Telford has come in to replace Mark Barsotti, but I'm real impressed. I'm real impressed with their defense also. But you've also got to be impressed with the play of the Rebels here.
Keep it on the ground. And Rosette breaks into the fray and down to the 26-yard line. Darrell Rosette.
I'm still a little surprised by Wayne Nunley and the Rebels' call that their best long yardage play is the fake punt.
And Fresno State can start thinking about Tony Kimbrough, one of the shining stars for Western Michigan's Broncos, and a fine running back by the name of Rob Davis, who's rushed for 860 yards and 11 touchdowns. That'll be their date on December 10th in Fresno, in the Cal Bowl. Rosette again for a couple. Well, Western Michigan's a fine football team. They've only lost one game this year. And they beat Ball State 16-13 a week ago to wrap it up. But this Fresno State bunch is going to play at home. You know they'll pack the house in Fresno for that bowl game.
And you know how tough they are at home.
175 to the good and only 10 to the bad in 4 games at home this year. That's what Long Beach State must look at next week. And you got to wonder who will start at quarterback. Will it be Barsodi or Dave Telford? Telford's been most impressive. Eric Martin. And he's down near the 10-yard line. And there's more good backs. You see Eric Martin, a very young player, a freshman.
You see the depth of the running back position that Jim Sweeney had with the Fresno State Bulldogs. He's got to feel great. The young quarterback, Mark Barsodi, who's playing well. He's got Dave Telford. He'll have Barsodi for 3 more years. He's got to feel pretty good about the situation he's in.
We're under a minute left, Dave. 50 seconds. The only suspense here is will Fresno State score again? And it's Martin. Runs into Doc Wise and Derek Nicholson. He cannot reach the 5-yard line. We're down to 40. So Fresno State improved to 8-2. For UNLV, they'll fall to 3-6. And the Bulldogs have locked up the Big West Conference Championship.
And again, remember, Wayne Nunley only has 7 seniors on his entire team. This is a rebuilding team. It's a young team. He's got a redshirt freshman quarterback. He's got a young backfield. You look at Keyshawn Murphy. Tonight's had a good game. He'll do nothing but get better.
The Fresno State Bulldogs are going back home to first play Long Beach State, but more importantly on December 10th to hook up with the Broncos of Central Michigan. Fresno State wins it 31-14. Jim Sweeney and Wayne Pleasantry will have our post-game show after these commercial messages.
Tonight, the Rose Bowl will be rocking as the UCLA Bruins, looking to climb back up the top 5 ladder, entertains the Stanford Cardinal. It's a prime tit exclusive from Pasadena tonight on College Football 88.
Punch after punch in the jaw. And Radcliffe is about to go down. I don't know what's holding him up. Darnell going to give it his best shot. One more shot. Meantime, oh my heavens. Oh, what a right hand. Radcliffe's pro debut. That's it.
Tonight, relive the great battle in Tempe as Prime Ticket sends your way the USC Trojans and Arizona State Sun Devils. Your 50-yard line seats await. Tonight, right here on Prime Ticket.
Just when you thought you knew everything about
Dogs of Fresno State, they lock up the Big West Conference Championship. They're 6-0 in the conference. They win here against UNLV 31-14. So Jim Sweeney has his Dogs back for the Cal Bowl against Western Michigan on December